Hey guys, welcome back to Mommy Trader. So on today's video, we're going to be talking all about, is $3 million really enough for our early retirement? And I really like these types of videos because it allows me to show you guys how to break down big numbers into smaller bite-sized pieces to really kind of analyze and adjust where needed to make sure that, the goals that we have for ourselves, these big goals, are actually attainable for us. And if it's not, we can always make adjustments along the way. So I hope that you enjoy this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, leave a comment down below, and join me as we change the face of wealth. So $3 million. $3 million is a big number. It is huge, okay? But on average, when people actually retire, they need about $1.8 million ish to live off of for the rest of their life. So can you imagine if you plan on retiring at 40 or 42 or 45, you're going to need a lot more. And then if you still have children at home, you have to factor them in too. And we have a special needs child who will most likely need our support and attention for the rest of his life. And so these are some of the things and some of the factors that we actually have to consider when we are talking about financial independence, retire early. And like I mentioned before, when we retire early, it's not retiring in the traditional sense, like just sitting on the beach somewhere, but rather we want to retire early to have the freedom to be able to do the things that we want to do. My husband really wants to focus on building up his own company. That takes a lot of time, guys. It takes a lot of focus and hours. And unfortunately, if you're working a 9 to 5 and you're trying to build up your own business, you don't want to become burnt out on both ends. And so having the freedom to walk away from the 9 to 5 is really great. For me, not having to go back to work because I'd rather stay home and be more present with my children. That is what financial independence will also allow as well. Side hustling, being able to go on vacation whenever you want and not have to, put in time off, and then you're capped on your time off. Do you have enough vacation time? This is why we are on this journey to financial independence. So let's break down that $3 million number to see, is it really enough for us? So we plan on in early retirement having 4 income sources at least. And the idea behind crafting our investments and our F.I.R.E plan and our F.I.R.E trackers is really to say, if my husband did not get any income from his side business, if we could not get anything from side hustles, what could we live on in terms of core income? And so these are the 4 things that we wrote down and said, we would be okay with. So real estate. I talk about real estate all the time on this channel. And when I say real estate, I'm talking about owning rental properties. Now, being a landlord has its ups and it has its downs. Some of the things that I can tell you guys is, number one, you want to make sure that you really run a thorough background check on your tenants. The second thing that we do, and I hope this doesn't cause any controversy, but we do not accept Section 8. We have had bad experiences with it now. And the not so great thing about it is that there are some really, really good people that are on Section 8, but most of the people that we have come in contact with, people that we know who are also landlords that we've seen first eye experiences with, just tear up the house, don't pay on time, and we don't accept Section 8. The next tidbit in terms of real estate, just giving you guys some gems here, is that we want our tenants to have 3 times the rent in terms of their take-home pay in each month. So if we charge $1,000 in rent, we expect our tenants to have $3,000 in terms of making each month. It can be together, it can be individually, but that's just the requirements that we have set for ourselves. And the last thing is that we meet the tenants before we sign anything. It's so important. It's something about when you meet people face to face, you can feel a certain energy about them. And so we always meet with prospective tenants before we even sign anything. And so those are just some gems. But in terms of real estate, we have 2 rental properties right now. Our goal for this year was to close on 1, and we did back in May. We have a tenant in it. We get $1,800 a month in that property. And our first property, we received $1,645 a month. And we have our 3rd pre-approval to buy our 3rd rental property. So the plan for that is to charge around $1,800 a month as well, in the same neighborhood as the property that we just bought. Great townhomes, starter homes for a lot of families, or just people that want more space. 3 bedrooms, 1.5 bathrooms, finished basement, parking in the back. We just really like the whole townhome type of life in terms of being landlords. So right now, if we count just 3 rental properties, if we go ahead and get this 3rd rental before the end of this year and charge the $1,800 a month for it, that's $5,245 in just rental income from 3 properties. So this is some of the things we're thinking about when we are thinking, is the $3 million goal achievable? And we can see that so far, yes. And the plan is, by the time we reach our early retirement number, is to have 5 or 6 properties to have income from. So that's the real estate. That's what we plan on withdrawing from in terms of one piece of that pie. The second piece or income source for our early retirement is investments. I think a lot of people really focus on investments like we do, especially if you are trying to retire early. And it doesn't have to be like retiring early at 30, 40. If you plan on retiring early before the traditional retirement age, which is 67, and you don't want to have to focus on or be concerned about Social Security, because who knows what that's going to look like by the time we reach, that age. But investments is the true way to not just FIRE, but any type of wealth or financial goals that you may have for yourself. I can't stress it enough. You must invest. Budgeting is great. Saving money is great. But if you don't invest, if your money isn't really making money for you, and I'm not talking about the high yield savings account, I'm talking about getting 10% back, 15% back returns year over year on your money, the stock market is the best place to do that. And I know it can be very fearful. So if you are new, stick to index funds. VOO, VTI, VUG are all great Vanguard funds with low expense ratios. You don't have to have a Vanguard account to invest in a Vanguard index fund, okay? So just keep that in mind, guys. But for us, I'm going to quickly tell you about 3 ways we plan on using this to fund our income in early retirement. We're going to talk about the HSA first. HSA is great. If you have access to one, I suggest you utilize it. Basically, what you can do is you send pre-tax dollars to your HSA and invest it, okay? And then do as much as you can in terms of paying your out-of-pocket medical expenses. Pay them from yourself, okay? You may have to budget it in your monthly budget, but try to figure out a way to pay those prescriptions and those co-pays and deductibles and over-counter medicines as much as you can afford to do, pay out of your own pocket. The great thing is that the government doesn't cap how far in the future you can reimburse yourself back. Remember, you invest in the HSA so that you can reimburse yourself when you need it. But if you let that money just grow and sit in your HSA, let's say over 10 years, it could grow to $10,000. So we're not talking about any gains, just what you've been putting in month over month for 10 years. By the time those 10 years is up, you could have $20,000, $25,000. And guys, you can get dividends on your HSA investments. I'll put a screenshot right here of our last dividend payment in the HSA account, guys. So our plan is to just continue investing in HSA. And when we reach our early retirement number, we're going to go to our app or to our spreadsheet where we've been keeping track of all of our receipts. And we're going to start reimbursing ourselves back. And the great thing is we can reimburse ourselves back with just gains that we have made in that account, because there's no tax penalty for that. So HSA. Next is the dividend portfolio. I've been big on talking about building up that dividend portfolio, guys. So your Starbucks, your Cardinal Health, your Walgreens, your Coca-Cola, companies like that that will pay you a dividend. Realty Income, which is a ticker symbol O, pays you a dividend every single month. And when you get those dividends reinvested back into that position, you will truly see compound interest work its magic for you. And that's one source of income we plan on starting to withdraw from when we hit our early retirement number. And the last investment type is the Roth. The Roth. I will put some information on the screen about the Roth. As we are in our Charles Schwab, an article from the Charles Schwab website. Charles Schwab is a really, really good website. It's just like Vanguard or Fidelity, really, really good place to invest. But I'm going to specifically talk about the Roth IRA withdrawal rules, and I'm actually going to go down to age 59 and under. I'm going to go to that section because that's the section that will apply to us, because we will be accessing our Roth before the age of 59 and a half. So as you can see, guys, you can withdraw your Roth IRA contributions. That means any money that you pay into your Roth IRA account out of your bank account. All of those contributions you can withdraw from your Roth anytime, tax and penalty free. The caveat here is your earnings. That means any gains that you have made in that Roth IRA account may be subjected to taxes and penalties. And just down here, it just gives you some more information on what are some of the ways you can avoid taxes and penalties. So for example, if you do have a Roth IRA, but you've had it for less than 5 years, my personal suggestion is don't touch your Roth until you have had it for at least 5 years. But if you find yourself in a situation where you have not had your Roth for more than 5 years, here are some of the ways you can avoid penalties. So you can use the withdrawal up to $10,000 to pay for a first-time home purchase. You can also use it for qualified educational expenses, a birth or an adoption, if you become disabled, or medical expenses. We don't plan on doing any of this, guys. It's strictly for FIRE. And as you can see down here, if you had the Roth for more than 5 years, then your earnings won't be subjected to taxes and penalties if you meet any of these other conditions as well. But like I said, we plan on using the Roth to just specifically withdraw our contributions and just let our earnings and gains keep growing until we hit that 59 and a half year threshold. So let's get back to the video. Let's move on to cryptocurrency. Crypto is really great because we do believe that it is the future. We believe that cryptocurrency is the future. Again, educate yourself, research, and just take it slow. You don't have to jump in head first with cryptocurrency. But the plan for us when we reach our FIRE number is start to take some of those gains as well. Just peel back. We plan on also stalking some of our crypto, which you'll get paid a nice interest rate for that, I think I saw what that was, 6%, guys. And so again, that's just another way we can make income off of the money that we had invested. And then the fourth and last way is just our savings account. I was watching Our Rich Journey, and they actually made a really, really good suggestion, and that was having 2 years worth of expenses in cash. In case there's a downturn in the economy or something out of the ordinary happens, you have cash that you can actually go to and withdraw from. And you can start to live maybe on some of the interest of that cash. You can also put it in more of a safer place, like maybe a bond or a money market or CD. You're not going to get a whole lot of return, but you'll get more than your average high yield savings account. So when we consider all of that stuff, we plan on getting about $10,000 to $12,000 a month just from these 4 sources. We're not talking about my husband's business. We're not talking about any side hustles or other side or passive income, just these 4 sources. If we can hit $10,000 or $15,000 a month in our retirement number, then I think we are off to a pretty good start. And the great thing about it is that you can make a mock budget. I talk about mock budgets on this channel. Make a spreadsheet, a very simple spreadsheet, or get a piece of paper and a pencil and just write down, what do you think your expenses are going to look like in your early retirement years or your retirement years, so that you can have some type of idea, so that you can craft a strategic plan, so you can figure out, okay, this is the number that I need to work towards, and you'll be able to have a solid plan to do that. Now, again, like I said at the beginning of this video, not everybody is going to agree with how you do things. Not everybody agrees with how I do things, but the idea is to remember it's your goals, it's your plan, it's your life that you are kind of structuring all of these different avenues for, so that you and your family can, live your best life. And you want to make sure that you keep things in perspective. So that's pretty much the video, guys. I really hope that you all enjoyed it. Leave me a comment down below. Are you interested? I said, are you interested in financial independence, retire early? If so, have you thought about a number that you may need in terms of what your expenses or what your situation is going to look like when you achieve your goals. So leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, join us, follow me over on Instagram. I post often on there. Again, guys, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate all of you. And until next time, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.